Hello, we're getting ever closer to that time of year again when the Midwest starts producing weather that is not entirely fit for humans. And it's at times like this that I like to retreat to my bedroom wielding a 32-ounce cup of coffee and a diary whose latest entry reads, "Bloody hell." And then I knock back that coffee, open the diary at page 10 and write down all the cities I really need to visit before I die of hypothermia. And a selection of those cities just happen to be right here in America. Now, I should disclose that places I've already been to did not, for obvious reasons, make the list. So if you're sad that Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Nashville, Charleston, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Chicago, Louisville, Orlando, and Denver are not on the list, it's probably because I've already checked them off and because I'm banned in one case. No, not Denver. Denver's fine. They've legalized it. Anyway, here are 5 US cities I really want to visit. Now, to use one of your well-known Americanisms, I'm going to throw a curveball at you now. Despite everything I just told you, I have actually already been to Portland, except this was Portland with all of the lobster in Maine and not the one that permits recreational use of the mountains. Some of the draws of Portland are its year-long mild climate, its vibrant artistic community, and the enduring fact that it's only 100 miles from Astoria, home of the Goonies. So why Portland? Why not Astoria itself? Because I'm not a Goonie and I want to go home. That's a line from the film. I'm not moving back to England yet. But I've grown fascinated with the idea of Portland for a number of reasons. Chief among them is the fact that the weather is similar to that of England, and I'm British and I need that type of misery in my life. And any city that gives me coffee and beer, and sometimes both at the same time, I could be making that part up, is a true friend of mine. So keep Portland weird, because I am crazy, people. That's crazy, comma, people, not I am a collection of crazy people. That just wouldn't work. Moving some 2,500 miles southeast, the next place on my list is New Orleans. And let's all laugh at the way Lawrence says New Orleans. Hilarious. But what are the draws of hitting up the Big Easy? Well, aside from its abundance of Cajun Creole restaurants, I just for once in my life want to walk into a famous Southern jazz bar, right? Light up a cigar and declare, I'll take a Southern comfort on the rocks. And I want to learn more about the Louisiana Purchase and spend several days roaming around the French Quarter with my shirt unbuttoned for no apparent reason. And I want to meet the playwright Tennessee Williams, who is actually dead. But there are actual streetcars. I want to ride a streetcar, and la-di-da, la-di-da, I want to go to Mardi Gras. That's my rhyme, not theirs. Use outside of this video would constitute copyright infringement, so don't even bother. But yes, Mardi Gras. So what if my binge drinking days are behind me? A man can pretend to be 14 again, can't he? If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear sunflowers. Is it sunflowers or sunflowers?
Pretty sure it's some.
Either way, ever since I was a little boy and I saw Christopher Walken come at James Bond with a fireman's axe on top of the Golden Gate Bridge, I knew then that I had to visit San Francisco. And here we are, 30 years later, and I haven't even been out to California, much less commandeered an evil corporate blimp. So I'd really like to change that, specifically the first part, though if anybody has a blimp, just call me. San Francisco, though, is on my bucket list for so much more than just the Golden Gate Bridge. As somebody who lived in Indianapolis for 3 years, I want the chance to navigate a city that isn't flat. I want to walk up a large hill at 2 a.m. just to get to my bed, or take a cable car if I'm feeling lazy. Probably that. And I want to see Alcatraz. I want to stand on the island and imagine being a prisoner, looking out at the city, unable to touch it. I want to see the stadium where the Beatles performed their last paid gig, and actually that was demolished a year ago. I'll go there anyway, and I'll sing a rendition of Fixing a Hole. Perfect, right? Oh, and speaking of something everybody wants to fix, I've always been fascinated with Washington, D.C., mainly because of its presidential history. And it seems like the sort of city where I would just spend an eternity just marveling at everything. Like, I'd basically live in the Library of Congress for 4 days wearing tweed. It would be the coolest thing ever, the library, not the tweed. I'd attend reenactments of local historic events, such as the burning of the White House, the Gettysburg Address, and the movie Independence Day. And yes, I know what you're thinking, Gettysburg is in Pennsylvania. Details. I want to see the White House and photograph it from a weird angle just to be different. I want to go to the Washington Monument with my wife so we can awkwardly play out that scene in Forrest Gump where Forrest and Jenny end up in the water. Actually, we might be arrested for that. But then I would leave Washington and head west to Washington. hang on, what? Of course, Washington State, my bad. Seattle, the home of Jimi Hendrix, Nirvana, Pearl Jam. Seattle actually was on my short list of places to move to before settling on Chicago. After all, I'd give my right arm to have Seattle's milder winters. Actually, not my right arm, I'm a writer. That wouldn't work. Perhaps a kidney. But come on, the place has everything, you know, British weather, a beautiful skyline, flipping mountains. It's home to some major coffee companies that aren't Starbucks, and if that's not your thing, it's home to Starbucks. The point is, it has a phenomenal coffee culture, and with all that caffeine, you can quite see how someone could be sleepless in Seattle. So many Tom Hanks references. It's a seaport city, so plenty of boats, seagulls, and the inimitable stench of seaweed. All of that was a guess, but if those three things are true, I'd use the enormous revenue that this channel will one day deliver and buy my very own boat. I'd also go and meet Washington's own Rick Steves and have him take me on a tour of the port of Seattle. To your right, Lawrence, is the lovely town of Edmonds, home to beautiful views, wonderful nature, and US travel host Rick Steves. Fun fact, Lawrence, did you know that recreational cannabis is legal in the state of Washington? I did, Rick, thanks, yes. That's not why Seattle was on my short list. And so to finish up, I just wanted to mention that these are by no means the only cities I want to see. If you think I should come to see your locale, let me know in the comments below. Just don't be waiting for me at the airport again. Twiglet 1987. Really horrifying the first time. Also, if you live in the cities referenced in this video, let me know about some of the sights and sounds I should visit. How do you visit a sound? I don't know. Anyway, until next time, have a brilliant weekend.